The dog and the tail, wanting versus longing. The dog chases its tail endlessly. This chasing is the seeking energy, the compulsive movement of the apparent self trying to attain something: happiness, wholeness, peace, enlightenment. But the tail is already part of the dog. There's nothing to get. The dog doesn't need to acquire the tail. It's already whole, complete, one. But in not realizing this, it keeps spinning. It keeps chasing. Wanting is tied to separation, the sense that something is missing. Wanting is a movement away from what is, always toward a future imagined fulfillment. Wanting is never satisfied, insatiable. If the tail is caught, it slips away again, or the dog doesn't even recognize it. Wanting says, I want this to be whole. Longing, the sacred ache. Then something apparently shifts, not as a doing, not by effort. Maybe the dog is tired. Maybe it has an existential exhaustion. And from this, something subtler arises: longing. Longing is not for another object. Longing is for the end of the chase. Longing is the sacred movement, not toward something, but toward the dissolution of the one who is seeking. It's the whisper, I want to stop wanting. I want to fall and dissolve and disappear into what is. Let it be over. Not life, not the world, but the illusion of separation. Longing says, I cannot go on pretending I am a separate person. Let me rest in what I already am. And then, no dog. Eventually, even this longing burns itself out, like incense fading into air. And here's where it gets non-dual. There never was a dog. There never was a separate seeker. The chase, the exhaustion, the surrender, all part of the one dream, the appearance. In this seeing, there's no one who stopped chasing. No beginning, no end, no arrival. Just this. Stillness or movement, sound or silence, longing or contentment. Already whole, already not two. So, no one is doing the doing. No one is doing the chasing. No one is doing the seeking. There isn't a self. There's no subject, no object, no dog, no tail, only the apparent energy of chasing, of seeking, wanting this to be better, to have a better experience, to have more pleasure, less pain, to have relief, to have clarity, perhaps, to have a release, a letting go. No one can do that because, again, there isn't anyone. It either stops, which is also just an illusion or an appearance, or it doesn't stop. It doesn't really matter because all there ever is what is appearing to happen. Self or no self. If separation is your direct experience, your reality, your truth, then that is what is apparently happening. But there's still no one there doing it. No self, no subject, no object, no me, no you, no I, no other, no separation, not two. All there is the divine. God is what is. This is it. This is totality. This is wholeness for no one. This is unconditional freedom. This is unconditional love. This is a celebration of what is. No time, no space, no distance, no free will, no chooser, no choice, no driver, no vehicle. Nothing is actually happening. This is no thing appearing as everything. This is the absolute appearing as the relative. This is formlessness appearing as form. This is an appearance for no one. There's no one inside the appearance or outside of the appearance, separate from the appearance, who is aware of the appearance. Within that illusion of separateness, within the illusion, the experience of feeling separate, comes awareness and autonomy. I am located here and you are located there. I am aware of you. I am aware of this. I am aware of that. All awareness is dualistic. And with that, also autonomy. I am the driver of this vehicle. I have free will and choice. I am choosing what I think, what I feel, what I say, what I do. Each of these are, you could say, the wings of the illusion of I. I am aware and I am in control. Neither one is actually true. This message is an exposure of that. There's no self. There's no subject who could be aware of an object. There's no self who could be the driver or the one in control of the vehicle or even something outside of the apparent vehicle, like a computer or a camera or a cup of tea. All there is, apparently, is verbing, doing, but no one doing and no object being done by. So this body is apparently drinking tea. But there's not really a subject and there's not really an object called tea. There's only the appearance of drinking. It's only an appearance. Now, as you know, I talk a lot about 2, 1, and 0. So of course, if you go to work tomorrow, you probably don't want to start telling people there's no one drinking the tea and there's no tea. This is only this message being given to no one from no one in this non-moment. In Tunis, not in Tunisia, but in the story of 2, of course, there is the appearance of a subject-verb-object relationship. I am drinking the tea. If you were to move to a oneness story, you could say, me, myself, and I am one with the T. Everything is connected and interconnected, and this is all one, coming from the same one source. The creator and creation are one. This is divine energy. It's all the same. That's still a message about separate things that are apparently one or all made out of the same one substance. It's still a noun or multiple nouns, many things. Then Advaita comes in with the zero message, and it says, not two, not even one, no thing, nothing, not a black box, because that's something, not a void or darkness, because that's something. It's literally indescribable because it's not a noun. So you can't apply or attach any adjectives to it because it's not a thing. It's nothing. It's nothing appearing as everything. It's not nothing becoming everything. It's not nothing expressing itself as everything. That's still dualistic. It literally is nothing appearing as everything. Now, for the one who feels like the subject, this message is really pointless. It might seem crazy, absurd, definitely useless. But we could say, in the story of cause and effect, if you're looking for what is true, then perhaps this illumination, this exposure, will reduce the seeking happening in the apparent there. So perhaps something will be heard and something will stop. Perhaps the seeking will stop or reduce. Maybe more peace will arise, less anxiety. Maybe the nervous system will be affected positively by this message. This is all a story of cause and effect. That's two. So maybe there's the apparent shift. As Papaji said to Gangaji, stop. Oh, you mean I stop? Oh, so I should stop doing this and that? Stop. And sometimes that apparent seeking energy stops. And then there's nothing. And no one. No self, no thing, no subject, no object, not two, not even one. Just this. Whatever is appearing to happen. Unconditional freedom. Everything is apparently allowed to appear. War and peace, good and bad, right and wrong. Illness and doctors, police officers and criminals. In the story of the spectrum of good to bad to pleasure to pain, everything is this. And therefore nothing needs to change because it's already and always this. It can't change. It can't become something. Only in the story of duality can things change. Of course, the baby grows up apparently and becomes an adult and then becomes an old person and then becomes a corpse. That's in the story of a timeline of a person who grows up and gets older and then dies. We're not talking about the person. Nisargadatta said, you are not the abstract, conceptual self. You are nothing conceivable, and you are nothing perceivable, which means you're nothing mental, and you're nothing physical. What are you? Nothing. Nisargadatta even said, the finalization, the summation of my teaching is nothing is. Nothing is. A person probably doesn't want to hear that. A person is showing great effort, a lot of trying in order to become something in the imaginary future. It doesn't want to be told it doesn't have control and that there's no future and that there's no self. It will probably reject this message. But that which is, we could say, some people say it's the heart, Hridaya, so not the mind, but the Hridaya, the spiritual heart, if you want to be spiritual about it. Something in the heart intuitively knows what is true, you could say, even though true and false is again within the story of duality. But something apparently hear this message, and it might let go, relax, dissolve, melt, die in a sense. The seeking energy, there's no one, there's no seeker, there's no self, but that seeking energy, it may just be pure beingness, if you will. No more doing. And any doing that happens after that is an empty doing. Even now, all doing is empty of self. No one is doing the doing. Which, look, we came full circle, unintentionally, because there's no one here speaking, unintentionally came back to the title of this, no one is doing the doing. There isn't anyone. This is not meant to hit you over the head with, there's no one, there's no one. If, conditional, if you feel like a someone, that's beautiful, perfection, wonderful, it doesn't matter. Because all there is what is. If what is appearing is you feeling like a separate self, feeling like a contracted energy, feeling like a person, then that's what's happening. Anything basically that we talk about is going to be story in the dualistic I and other cause and effect storyline, timeline. And that's fine, because even that, of course, is this, everything is this. So there's no right or wrong, no good way or bad way to talk about this. But this message, it should be perhaps remembered that it's not about morality. It's not really about spirituality. It's definitely not about religion. It's about, hopefully, I say in humility, hopefully it's about what is, and may I say also what is true. We are not trying to tell ourselves stories. It's the end of stories. We're not trying to create something, actually. We're not trying to believe anything. This is not a belief system. We're actually looking, in a way, at what is. Nothing needs to be made up. It's very natural in that way. Anger is happening. That's what is. Sadness is happening. That's what is. Love is happening. That's what is. War, peace, confusion, clarity, words, silence, movement, stillness. It's all what is. There's nothing that isn't what is. It's all what is apparently happening for no one, because there isn't a self. Those of you who might follow Ramana Maharshi or Nisargadatta, they are pointing to the same thing, of course, which is really the introspection of the I am. Who am I? Is there an I? Is there a separate self? So the endpoint, the conclusion is the same. But of course, if we're looking at it, we have to admit that Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj, all respect, they're talking about a process for a person to engage in. This message, hopefully, is not giving anything. It's not offering anything. Nothing is on sale because there's nothing happening. And there's no subject, object, I, other, me, you. I definitely have nothing to offer you. This is just appearing to happen. This body is appearing for whatever reason. And you can say whatever you'd like. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It's still what is. For whatever reason, this character, we could say, enjoys talking about non-duality or making videos. And that is apparently happening. That's the why. There isn't really a why. There's no reason. There's no why. This has no value. There's no value to this. It's not a substance. How could it have value? So with that, The last words, no one is doing the doing. This is unconditional love. This is the beloved. Namaste.